Hello, everybody, and welcome to Squibbler's weekly Wednesday webinar. This week, we're going to be talking about the power of journaling, the artistic and therapeutical benefits of journaling, and how you can use the power of AI to even enhance your ability to journal. So in this webinar, you're going to learn the relationship between journaling and writing. We'll talk about some of the therapeutic benefits of journaling. We'll talk about some of the creative benefits of journaling and some tips for using AI while you journal. So, with regards to journaling and writing, some of the best authors and researchers use journaling, but you don't have to be either yet to begin using this helpful practice. Journals are an excellent source of self reflection and meditation as well. They can help writers solve problems, and they can also help you if you're struggling with trauma. There's no pressure in creating a journal. That's one of the really big benefits. There's no right or wrong way to set it up. Journals are supposed to be personal, so this is a great place to experiment with your writing, your drawing, your composing, even your collecting, and so forth. A lot of authors use journals for this reason. The example here from the right is a really lovely example from Amy Tan's journals. She wrote The Joy Luck Club and The Bone Setter's Daughter. She chronicles and sketches things she sees in her backyard, and it's quite beautiful. You can do this with nonfiction as well. You don't have to be a fiction writer. Journals are also a good place to jot down your ideas for projects that you're working on or problems you're trying to solve. One inventor who wrote down his ideas and drew his concepts extensively was Leonardo da Vinci. So if you're interested, you might seek out some of his journals to see how he used those to work on his ideas. Nonfiction is also something that we use with artists and things like that as well. So artists can write in their journals. For those of you who are artistic, can be a good way to experiment with your craft. The journal pictured here belongs to Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. Her journals are colorful and chaotic at times. She has drops of paint on some pages, and then, as you can see here, some painting on sides as well. So what are some of the benefits of journaling and writing? Journaling is going to strengthen your writing muscle. Daily journaling is going to build fluency and comfort with putting words on the page. And this reduces resistance to the act of writing itself if you're someone who has a hard time getting into the writing mode. Journaling can also help you develop your authentic voice. Without audience expectations, nobody reading your work, you can experiment and uncover your own natural rhythms and expressions. There's no voice hanging over your head telling you that you're doing something wrong. Journaling also can create a repository of material for you. You can think about just things you observe. You can listen to snippets of dialogue when you're out and write that down. You can write descriptions of things that you see in your daily life. You can mention insights you have about ideas. These are all things you can just write in your journal that become raw material for creative work. Another thing journaling can help you do is think about perspective shifts. Writing through personal experience is going to help writers understand multiple viewpoints. These are essential for creating nuanced characters. So with regard to journaling and therapy, journaling can also create a private judgment-free space where you can process your emotions safely. Writing about some difficult feelings you might have can help metabolize them without the pressure of creating what's called good writing. This emotional processing clears mental space for creative work as well. Journaling can also help you get rid of some of these anxious thoughts you might have. Anxiety can interrupt thought, can interrupt your ability to be creative. So journaling can interrupt these obsessive thought patterns that you might have that can plague the creative mind. Journals can help you develop self-awareness. With practice, you're going to have regular reflection, and that's going to reveal patterns in your thinking, your emotional triggers, and personal narratives that might otherwise remain unconscious. For those of you who are writing memoirs, this can be extremely helpful. Journaling also helps to build resilience. If you document the challenges you have and how you've overcome them, this is going to build a personal record of your ability to persist through difficulties. And that comes in handy when you are going to send out your work to be read by other writers, to be read by agents, to be sent to publishers as well. The magic of journaling happens at the intersection between the two, between journaling and therapy with the creativity and the idea that it can be therapeutic. So it can reduce creative blocks. It can clear emotional obstacles that can lead to writer's block. It can also deepen emotional authenticity. Processing your emotions is going to create a vocabulary and understanding that translates to more emotionally authentic writing. Journaling also creates psychological safety. When you write regularly, privately, it can build confidence that can spill over to your professional writing. You might like a sentence that you wrote in your journal so much that you can transfer it to your creative work as well. Journaling can also reveal meaningful themes and questions that matter the most to you. It's going to be the material that makes your work creative and distinctive and imaginative and meaningful. Many successful writers do maintain the practice of journaling because it nurtures both their well being, their mental space, and their craft. So it creates a healthy cycle where personal growth and creative development reinforce each other. I did do a little bit of research into the therapeutic benefits, and it is actually healing. Dr. James Pennebaker, who is a pioneering psychologist in the study of the benefits of writing and on mental wellness, found that expressive writing about trauma or stressful experiences produces measurable physiological benefits. I'm sorry, physiological, your body. Just 15 to 20 minutes of journaling over 3 to 4 consecutive days was found to experience and improve immune function, reduce blood pressure, decrease the heart rate, and have fewer stress-related doctor visits in the months that the people who engaged in the study were following the practice of journaling. And so this suggests that the act of translating experiences into language can help the brain process emotional content in ways that will reduce physical stress responses as well. Research published in the Journal of Psychiatric Practice found that regular journaling also can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression by about 20%. So, if you're someone who suffers from that, and a lot of creative people do, it may help you to journal. This effect appears to be related to how writing is going to internalize negative thoughts, and it creates a psychological distance that helps people observe their feelings rather than being consumed by them. So it's as if you're writing yourself as a character experiencing these problems, and it kind of helps you to see them in a third-party perspective and being able to deal with them better. Brain scans also reveal that the act of writing personal narratives activates multiple brain regions simultaneously, and that those brain regions are included for the ones responsible for emotional processing, for language, and for executive function. So this cross activation is going to help integrate emotional experiences with the rational thought process, essentially allowing the logical left side of the brain to help make sense of the emotional right brain's experiences. When writers form coherent narratives from fragmented or chaotic emotional experiences, they're rewiring their neural pathways. And this is going to reduce amygdala activation. The amygdala section of the brain is the fear anxiety section of the brain. So this is going to help shift traumatic responses from implicit emotional storage to explicit narrative memory, where they become more manageable over time. An analysis of 146 studies found that expressive writing interventions consistently produce moderate improvements in psychological well-being across diverse populations, with particularly strong effects for individuals processing difficult life transitions. So maybe if you've suffered a loss or you've lost your job. And it also helps those people that are managing chronic illnesses. So if you have a chronic illness, there are benefits to journaling as well. The simple act of translating emotions into words appears to reduce the intensity of these issues and make them more manageable. So we're seeing that there are both physiological and psychological benefits to the act of journaling. Another therapeutic benefit is self-awareness. Regular journaling can reveal patterns in your thoughts and behaviors and emotional responses that might otherwise remain invisible. So this type of self-knowledge allows you to identify limiting your belief and making conscious choices about how you respond to challenges. And over time, if you look through your past journals, you'll be able to see a documented journey of your own personal evolution. And this is extremely helpful, again, for those of you that are writing memoirs. As we said, they can also help you manage writer's block and creative anxiety. Writing for journaling is going to be less stressful because it's not something that you need to show anybody else. You don't have to produce what's called good writing. You don't even have to worry about grammar and spelling. It's not something anybody else is going to see. So that should get rid of some anxiety that you might have for writing as well. Another benefit is that journaling can create psychological safety for creative risks. This is a place to experiment. You can experiment with form. You can write backwards. You can write upside down. You can, try out more adjectives if you want to. You can try out more metaphors. All of this is going to build a bolder, creative writer in you. Another therapeutic benefit is to develop resilience against rejection and criticism. Talking about your disappointments helps separate your identity from the external validation of your work. So it's going to build self-trust for you, and you can document your growth as you're learning how to deal with these challenges. So next, we'll move on to some creative benefits of journaling. The Stanford creativity researchers from Stanford University found that journal writing enhances divergent thinking, the ability to generate multiple creative solutions. So their study showed that participants who journaled for 10 minutes before creative tasks produced 28% more ideas and solutions that were rated as more original than control groups. So this is something that can help you not just with your writing, but even in your job if you are someone who has to come up with creative solutions to ideas. Another study found that journaling before sleep activates the default mode network in the brain, which is associated with imagination and creative connections. So this suggests that journaling is going to help the brain consolidate seemingly unrelated concepts during sleep, often resulting in creative insights or solutions when you wake up. This scientific observation supports what many writers will say anecdotally, that journaling is going to create a fertile ground for unexpected creative connections. So some writing-specific benefits to journaling are that journaling can help you build a consistent writing habit. So journaling daily can help you to reduce the resistance to writing in general. It will get you sitting down and writing, making consistency feel natural rather than forced. And regardless of the length of quality of time of how long you journal, having this daily commitment is going to reinforce that consistent practice matters. Journaling is also a storehouse for your ideas and observations. This is another reason it really helps writers. Any kind of fleeting thoughts you have, fragments of dreams, observations, just things that you're observing in the outside world might be lost if you don't write them down. So your journal can become your personal reference library, and you can revisit it if you're stuck with a blank page or a creative block. You might even find that as you've added something to your journal and you come back to it later, you get a short story out of it, or maybe even a novel. So over time, patterns do seem to emerge between unrelated things. And so you'll find themes and patterns in your work as well. Another way that that journaling helps your writing specifically is character development through self-exploration. When you're journaling, you're looking at yourself and your own evolution over time, and you're going to gain firsthand knowledge of how people genuinely change if you continue to journal. Your entries document the gradual nature of personal growth, how your bright moments where you experience an epiphany often result from small realizations. So it is a path that you're going to be taking. You're also going to find your authentic voice if you continue to journal consistently. Because you don't have an audience in mind, you're writing in your most authentic voice. You're writing for yourself. So this is judgment-free, it's private, you don't have to share it with someone else, and you're going to start to develop your own syntax, your own preferences for vocabulary, and your thought patterns. So over time, you might find that these distinctive elements are going to show up in your writing as well. Another writing-specific benefit of journaling is that you could experiment with language without pressure. So this is a place to play around linguistically. You can experiment with the way that you're creating sentences, and you can use unusual sentence structures, play with metaphors, and with rhythmic patterns that maybe seem a little bit strange when you're writing them in a book or a screenplay, but you can experiment with them here. So there are different types of ways that you can experiment with journaling methods. Not everybody, works with their journals the same way, as we saw even with the three famous examples we saw from Amy Tan and Leonardo da Vinci and Frida Kahlo. They all have different methods for journaling. So you could just free write with a stream of consciousness, where you're just not letting your pen leave the page. You're writing whatever comes to mind. You could also follow structured prompts for personal insight. So you could look up some journal prompts and then write on those daily. You could think about character journaling techniques, something like you go out to a cafe or to a busy area and you observe people and write about their mannerisms so you can develop character ideas. You might think about sensory journaling, describing something very descriptively, that in your journal as well. You could take a look at, perhaps the birds in your neighborhood or, flowers that bloom in the spring. You can also think about emotional journaling, describe what emotions you're feeling in certain situations. This can be therapeutic, and it can also help you develop authentic character emotions. So how can we use Scribbler's AI in our journaling? You can add images and photos. This is really going to make your journal more interesting when you finally have a full version ready, and you can even print it out if you'd like to. You can ask for help in problem solving. We'll take a look at that in a moment. You can ask Squibbler to brainstorm a journal topic if you're stuck. So let's say that I'm approaching my journal, I'm on a blank screen or a blank piece of paper. I can ask Squibbler to help me brainstorm a journaling idea. You can add notes for future writing you want to complete. And just if you need some prompts, we do have some writing prompts on Discord as well. So I'm going to jump into Squibbler for just a moment, and I want to show you how I started this journal here today. So I was thinking about how it's spring outside, and I keep hearing the birds. And I thought about a poem that my dad would say as a joke every year, and it's by an anonymous poet, and it's called the Brooklyn National Anthem, but that's not a real title. It's the spring has sprung, the grass is riz, I wonder where the boydies is, the boyd is on a wing, ain't that absurd, I always hoid the wing was on the boyd. And so it's just my dad's joke in the spring. So I started thinking, okay, let me create an image to go with this poem. So I wrote a yellow lark on a blossoming cherry branch tree. I wanted a beautiful image. And from that, I went to the visualize function and then had the AI create an image for me. And it came up with this lovely image of a yellow lark here on a blossoming cherry tree for me. And here it's created another one, as you can see. I also asked it, who makes the most beautiful bird calls? So I went to Ask Squibbler, and I was curious what birds have the most beautiful song or call. So this is one thing you can do. You can also ask it to brainstorm for journal prompt ideas for you. So now the AI is going to search for me, and it's going to tell me some of the most beautiful bird songs. And one of them is the nightingale. Another one was the thrush. So I added a bird call to my journal as well. So this is what this is about. So that's really lovely as well. So just sitting here with my journal, I've come up with enough material where I've got, I could write about these beautiful birds. I could describe them. I could write, a memory of my father. I could describe some birds that I would like to, work, and I can include images here as well. One good thing about asking Squibbler too, what you can do is if you're having an issue, you can also ask that in the Ask Squibbler function. So let's say that I'm not really good with something like time management at work. I could say, what are some time management tips? And this is going to give me some time management tips that I could add to my journal as well. And then I can reflect on it. What do I need to improve? So this is part of that reflection. And you'll see here, it's got quite a few ideas here for time management that I could explore. So those are just some ways that you can add to your journal and then keep it. It will save automatically here. You'll see that I've created a journal for 2025. I've got April and May here. I'm going to continue to add to it and just write down thoughts that might help me in my own writing journey and my own self-awareness journey. So in this webinar, we have reviewed the relationship between journaling and writing. We took a look at some of the therapeutic benefits of journaling. We found that there are physiological and psychological benefits. We looked at some of the creative benefits of journaling, how that can help your writing. And then we took a look at how you can use Scribbler to create a journal for yourself and some tips that you can use for using the AI while you're journaling. Thank you, as always, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. I sure learned a lot during this one, and I'm definitely going to be journaling from this point on as well. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Bye.